I'm Kim Avant-Babb, Chief Strategy Officer at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. And so I'd like to introduce to some of you who the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority is, and introduce ourselves, and then reintroduce to those who are not familiar with who we are. Full disclosure though, I just mentioned that I'm from Camden County. I live in Gloucester County, but I heard Wawa mentioned a couple of times this morning. As a matter of fact, not a couple, but a few times. Full disclosure, I'm from Philadelphia, born and raised, transplant to, okay, great, yes. 23-year transplant to South Jersey. But full disclosure, I used to work in Wawa, Pennsylvania. There does exist, seriously. It's where Wawa was founded, in Wawa, Pennsylvania. And historically, Wawas were in Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. Something has happened with the competition with Royal Farms, is it? That was typically down south. They're moving south, so they're moving north, so Wawa is moving further north, and they're coming up to where you guys are. So feel honored that you'll have a taste of that coffee and you'll get hooked like the rest of us. But anyway, that's the history that Wawa does come from Wawa, Pennsylvania. So redevelopment is happening everywhere. Based on the conversations that I'm hearing, based on the work that we do at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, I will say, coming from Camden County, there is a distinct difference between South Jersey and North Jersey. As it relates to redevelopment, we don't have parking issues down there. So I will support, all the challenges that you face up here in North Jersey as it relates to parking. I also know, and just let me thank Alex and the Mayor Armstead from the Union County Downtown Managers, Mayors, and Economic Development Directors for inviting us here today to introduce ourselves to some of you and reintroduce ourselves to others. But out of the 21 municipalities in Union County, there are 6 of you that are eligible for our financing at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So who is the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority? We are an independent state financing authority. In the packets in front of you, you have a printout of a PowerPoint that we've done that I wanted to provide you with. So we are one of the youngest state authorities in Trenton. We were created under the Whitman administration, primarily for 2 reasons. Number 1, to offer financial assistance to support redevelopment projects in the urban cities across the state. We were established legislatively for 2 reasons. Number 1, to offer financial assistance to assist redevelopment projects in the urban cities across the state. The second reason was to offer technical assistance around the topic of redevelopment. And redevelopment is happening everywhere. So while our money only goes to redevelopment projects in the urban cities across the state, of which there's about 70 of them. However, in Union, there's only 6 that qualify. But I'm going to set you up for not feeling left out, because my colleague, Oscar Parham, is going to come up after me and talk about the technical assistance side of the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, which is open to any and everybody, not only in New Jersey, but around the country. Okay, so on the financing side, we have a number of programs that can assist you. But interestingly enough, like I mentioned, we're one of the youngest state authorities. We became operational in 1997. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary in 2017. It was phenomenal. It was just impactful. And we pushed the pause button to really take a look at the impact that we've had over the 20 years. And to that point, we have invested close to $418 million in investments in those urban communities, which has leveraged close to $4 billion in total investments. Our tagline is that we're there first. We are the state, and typically in these urban communities where a lot of traditional lenders don't want to go, we are the risk takers. So if you look at the presentation, every $1 of our investment leveraged on average $9, and it varies depending on what the projects were. But the impact also included in our tenure close to 300 projects. We financed 15,000 units of housing, 10 million square feet of commercial, and almost 1,500 jobs. Although we don't measure our success by job creation, there are other entities that do that on the state level. Our focus primarily at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority is to focus on improving the quality of life in these urban centers by assisting with the redevelopment of brownfields, vacant lots, vacant parcels, and unproductive commercial quarters, and to get those properties back on the tax roll to feed the revenue that assists in the underpinning of those communities. So that's our focus, and we're willing to go there first whenever the opportunity presents itself. So I'm going to talk about the money side, and then Oscar Parham is going to talk about the technical assistance side. Now, as Chief Strategy Officer of the Division of Strategic Partnerships, I oversee the technical assistance side of what we've been doing for many, many years. My colleague, Darryl Godfrey, Chief Operating Officer, he usually walks in the room and he has a checkbook. But he's not here today, so I'm representing him in a sense of just, drilling down on what the financing programs are. There is a contact sheet in the back of your presentation with all of our contact information. Once I give an overview of the financing programs, if you have a project, if you have more specific questions about our financing programs, Darryl Godfrey is your follow-up person. So we have a number of programs I'm going to delve into. We have our redevelopment investment fund. We are, as all authorities are, we have the ability to facilitate tax and tax-exempt bond financing. And we also have our very popular revolving loan program, which is called the New Jersey Urban Site Program. Oscar Parham is going to talk about the Redevelopment Training Institute, and I know our sister agency, the Department of Community Affairs, is going to talk about opportunity zones. We are, and most of the state entities are at the table with these opportunity zones. The New Jersey Redevelopment, we're at the table as well, but I'm going to leave that up to my colleagues to delve more into. So the Redevelopment Investment Fund is our permanent financing program. It comes in the form of term loans as it relates to mixed-use projects, which is really where our sweet spot is. We can be in a project as equity investors and also as guarantors. Again, I mentioned bond financing. As an authority, we have the ability to facilitate up to $100 million annually in bond capacity. We've done a number of bond deals across the state in those urban communities like Camden. And I'm going to talk about a couple of success stories in a couple minutes of projects that we've done. The urban site acquisition program is our most popular one. It's a revolving loan pool of about $20 million that really assists developers to acquire the site, to ready the site. It's short-term money. It gets us in and gets us out with those guarantors or takeout sources like HMFA if there's housing involved, et cetera. So that's our most popular program. I mentioned there's 21, and you know this, 21 municipalities in Union County. 6 are eligible for our participation on the financing side. So the first success story I'm going to talk about is Plainfield. I mean, full disclosure. Our president and CEO is homegrown in Plainfield, so it's just a natural that the microscope is going to be there in support and rallying the troops. So a recent project that got off the ground was the South 2nd Street redevelopment project that was in Plainfield. Through our NJRA financing is a program that we used to have which focused on brownfields. Again, our focus is we want to bring those underutilized buildings back on the tax rolls. So we put $1 million into this project where the total project cost was $30 million. And it facilitated a 44,000 square foot warehouse as phase 1, and then phase 2 is 90 units of apartments. Another success story in Jersey City, not too far, is Webb Apartments. And we put in, through our site acquisition program, again, about $800,000. The total project cost was about $11 million. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Asa's going to mention it, but we're going to hold a workshop there to really use that project as a case study of how you do redevelopment. It offers affordable rental units, and it has a lot of green technology as an example. If you've been to New Brunswick, most of us have been. My son went to Rowan there, to Rutgers. The Heldridge was one of our first projects many, many years ago. We actually put close to $2 million into that project to help to assemble the sites on the front end. We were there just to help to assemble the sites to ultimately build that very impressive building. And interestingly enough, 20 years later, we had our 20th anniversary at the Heldridge. So that was a very nice full circle of one of our earlier projects for us to then come back and be in the brick and mortar and see the impact of our investment at the Heldridge. Elizabeth, I see Fatima over there smiling. We've been partnering with Elizabeth for a long time. And so this is a project, the Marina Village was a project that we put USA money into, again, to help assemble the site and make an impact on affordable housing in Elizabeth. So I, again, mentioned the contact information is on the back sheet. I cannot stay for the entire program today, but we certainly appreciate, Mayor, you giving us a minute to introduce ourselves to those of you who are not familiar with us, the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. I'm going to invite my colleague Oscar Parham up at this point to go into the technical assistance side of what we're offering at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. So I'm going to say thank you at this point.
I don't know if I should reserve my question for you or Parham, but it has to do with the fact that Linden is not considered one of those towns.
Correct.
However, we do fall, on the other side of the street is Roselle, and right down the street is Elizabeth. We have some very affluent areas in our town, and we have some economically depressed areas in our town. And you can use assistance, but because of our median income, we're excluded. But unfortunately, there's a need because of the area that's not so affluent. So, and of course, if there's a zone that is receiving assistance, then we still suffer in that area that where we need it, we can't get it. So we're kind of like in a catch-22 over here. So what can we do about that?
But we don't define what cities qualify as urban. The Department of Community Affairs, Local Government Services manages that formula and calculation to define and qualify those eligible communities. So I've been with the NJRA for 22 years. It just speaks to the value that we have around the state. But so I've seen municipalities who have been qualified as urban, who have come up, if you will, and improve the demographics and the resourcefulness of their communities, who say, but I don't want to lose that eligibility, I don't want to lose that designation. But it's kind of like you want to increase your economic development, your growth, and your productivity. So the short answer is we don't define who qualifies. I don't know, well, it's all about accessing resources. So you want to qualify to access the resources, but you want to, build yourselves up so that you don't have to access. So it's like a two-sided.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean,
yeah.
We have an area in town that does need redevelopment. And luckily, we have got a developer there. After 30 years of searching, we finally found somebody who would take a chance in the area. And so he's spending some significant dollars there. But again, there's other areas that are close by and adjacent that could use a boost also, and then are we going to be able to attract people to take a chance? That's the question.
Actually, great question. A lot of great conversation going on, various topics. I think I'm going to lift this up just a little bit. There we go. So first of all, I want to tell you guys, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm really excited to be here. Hope you guys are excited to take in some of this information in regards to what we do. Kim, awesome job for presenting the overall financial. So you guys have a packet of presentation material. I might be all over the place. So I kind of like to flow and kind of see how things kind of go conversationally. So once again, my name is Oscar Parham. I am the manager of strategic operations. I've been around for almost 4.5 years in this space. A little bit of background. I used to be on the other side, actually, where you individuals are, doing my part-time as I sort of transition from one profession to another. I think I need to move the mic here a little bit. I used to come to all the training workshops that they had over, I think, for maybe a year and a half. During my time there, I met Kim, and I think, Kim, you might have noticed, like, why is he always coming to these who is this guy at the end of the day? So it was a stalker. I'm a training educational stalker. And so Kim invited me out to lunch. We developed this wonderful relationship. I told Kim, I'm like, hey, I'm in a transition as far as some of the things I'm looking to do. Kim is like, hey, with your background and experience at the Redevelopment Training Institute, there might be an opportunity for you. So I said, what's this opportunity? So long story short, 4.5 years later, I interviewed with Leslie, interviewed with Kim, and I'm here today standing before you. I am tasked as manager of strategic operations to oversee the Training Institute, which I'm very excited about, because at the end of the day, the greatest impact we offer our communities is for us to stay educated. And the financing sources are out there, the educational sources out there. So what we do at the Training Institute, I'm always excited to get an opportunity to talk about it. So going back to the package you guys have here. So just a quick question before we begin. How many individuals here are you familiar with the Training Institute? Raise your hand. Okay, some more opportunity here. How many have attended any of our workshops? More opportunity, I love it. How many people after this presentation is planning to come to one of our workshops? That's what I like to hear. I like to hear, great. So really what I want to accomplish today is just really 4 things. I want to give you a little bit of an historical understanding or background of the Redevelopment and Training Institute, and I'm just going to refer to it as RTI, because we got these long acronyms. Also tell you a little bit about our goals and objectives at the RTI. Tell you a little bit about some of the courses that we offer, and then really at the end of the day, what's in it for you? Because we're here for what's in it for you. What can the Training Institute provide you as practitioners in your field in the space of real estate and real estate development? So our formal definition of the Redevelopment Training Authority is that we provide training courses. We are focused on urban, suburban, and mixed-use commercial communities with the goal of providing driven real-life examples and instructions. We utilize heavily throughout our trainings case study analysis that are actual case studies around projects, strategies, and models that are currently being used in New Jersey. So a little bit of the history of NJRA. This is going to kill me. Mind if I just take this out? Okay. So a little bit of history of NJRA. So as Kim mentioned, the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority was started back in 1997. Part of the charter also created an area for technical training and assistance, which is what we do at the Training Institute. And so around about 2005, 2006, Leslie A. Anderson, our president and CEO, said, you know, how can we create and have the greatest impact from an educational standpoint with individuals within the space of real estate and redevelopment? And she tasked Kevin Van Baab and Craig Sawyer, our lead instructor, with putting together the framework and bringing and giving life to the Training Institute. So since 2006, it's been about 13 years. Kim mentioned we celebrated our 10th anniversary about 2.5 years ago. We've trained over 2,000 professionals from every field. And so I'm not going to tell you who actually comes to our workshops until later on, but that's an enormous accomplishment, and we're still going strong at the end of the day. So before I kind of give you an idea as far as some of the training courses and some of the special offerings we offer, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we get around to deciding what is a redevelopment training course or workshop that we bring to our community. We sit back, and at the end of the day, we gather data, we gather information, we gather information from the conversations, we take surveys all throughout our workshops, and we take it very seriously, the feedback that we get from you in the community as far as what do you really need from an educational standpoint? Is it funding? Is it understanding what a tax abatement is? How do I apply for, what are some of the strategies that other communities are utilizing to create redevelopment and create incentives for businesses out there? So we'll sit back, we'll put together about 10 workshops specifically focused on relevant trending topics. We are a financing institution, so a lot of our courses are very heavily geared toward that financial concept and understanding, which we know is very important in the space that we're in, which is a great segue into one of our workshops it's actually a series that we have every year. It's called the Project Finance series. It's basically 3 workshops that covers the basics, cover intermediate, and cover advanced finance. And so the interesting thing about this course is our core course that we'll have year in, year out. But what really makes what we do dynamic is that the courses will change as well as what's going on within the marketplace. So for example, the Project Finance series, Project Finance Basic covers the fundamentals. What's really involved in understanding some of the terminology that's out there? What's net operating income? What is IRR, internal rate of return? So for those individuals that have very little to no understanding as far as what is financing and project finance, this course is a great introduction. Then we get into our next course, which is our Project Finance Intermediate, which is a little bit more of a deeper dive, where we'll talk about case study analysis. We'll use Excel a little bit more extensively to give you more of an understanding. And then our last offering we offer is Project Finance Advanced, where we really, at that level, you really almost need to be, in some regards, a practitioner. Financing needs to be something that you'll utilize throughout the jobs that you do within your field. And I want to mention, too, as well, in regards to those courses, we have 2 excellent instructors. Professor Kevin McQueen, who's been with us for about 5 years, and he just does a phenomenal job at getting over and teaching you basically some of the fundamental practices and formulas and dynamics and models that you'll need as you utilize finance in your courses. And our next, our next offer what we have is a redevelopment planning law process series. Basically, that's a workshop that will cover the length and breadth of what's involved in real estate and real estate development. We'll talk about everything from the laws, the policies, what community engagement is, architectural, and it's a 2-day course, and we're actually holding that October 23rd and 24th at Keene University. So we're looking forward to hopefully having you individuals come out and participate in that workshop. And it's actually our 100th workshop at the end of the day. So we're going to have a little bit of an historical conversation as far as how did RTI come about, where we're looking to go with it, and kind of taking a little walk back. We're going to have some presenters that have previously been with us attend the workshop, and it's going to be very dynamic and exciting this year. So we look forward to having some of you attend that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the special offerings. So we have and I'm very proud of this because as an individual that used to be on the other side, one of the things that I participated in was a focus group. And through that focus group that we have, we used to basically ask questions. What would you like to see in a redevelopment training workshop? What courses, what ideas? And I can actually say this, Kim, that my suggestion was, why don't we actually go to a project site and take a look at these things that we go to classes and talk about with case studies. And so out of that came the comprehensive real estate development creed, where we basically for 2 days, the first day we'll actually tour a site. So we'll actually go to a particular site, and we'll have the practitioners, we'll have the architects, the developers, the financiers talk about that particular workshop. So you'll actually get an opportunity to go to one of these sites and see it, and then we'll go back to the classroom and utilize that particular project as a case study. So we get a nice overview as far as really what's involved in bringing a project like this to fruition. Another special offer we offer is our municipal consultations, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. Our municipal consultations they're free. There's no charge of that. But basically, you'll have a particular project, and you need maybe just a little bit of help or understanding as far as, what type of financing, what type of sources can I use? Well, we'll go and actually get industry experts to sit with you at a location of your choice and talk to you about some of the feedback in regards to some of the challenges that they'll give, or they'll see, or they'll share with you in their experience in regards to bringing a project to fruition. We also offer customizable training. There's a fee charge for that. That's basically where you'll come to us and sit down and you'll say, hey, I've got a particular project, or I've got a particular area of interest that I need a little bit more understanding about. It could be pilots, which we recently just did one. We'll get an industry expert together, we'll sit down and create an agenda, and via that agenda, we'll go over and share with you some best practices, some models and strategies that'll work for you. So it's really up to you to say, hey, I've got a challenge within my community, for funding, for example. What are some of the recommendations and strategies that we can use to help you overcome that hurdle? And so, in conclusion, you're probably sitting there thinking, who actually comes to our workshops and our training? The real question is who doesn't come to our workshop and training? Everyone from accountants to lawyers to developers to mayors. I was actually, one of my classes I actually attended, I actually sat in there and I looked over and I'm like, what is the mayor doing here? We all have or should have that need to get educated and learn more about our field of interest and some of the other practices that are out there that other communities are using to be successful. So everyone attends our workshops. And so what do you get? What's in it for you? You get relevant quality content, continuing education credits. We offer continuing education credits for planners. We also offer continuing education credits for lawyers. Our instructors are actual practitioners. Very reasonably priced. Every year we take a look and we say, what are we offering from a financing standpoint, from a cost, and to our competitors, and we really are the best ticket out there in regards to the opportunity to get these professionals and these practitioners, to actually talk about these particular topics. Business and networking opportunity is huge. I was able to get a job out of the opportunity of coming to the workshops. The deals that happen because of the individuals that come to the workshops are phenomenal. Individuals like yourselves, that you come there to learn about a particular topic or interest, whether it's pilots, whether it's funding, some of the successful models. You end up meeting someone who potentially could be a business partner at that workshop. So with that, I'm concluded. If you have any questions?
I'd just like to say that Oscar and his team came with a specialized program to Scotch Plains, and it was really great.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mayor.
Recommend if you have a need, talk to them. They're very flexible.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I just direct a question, answer to the mayor on how he may look at those areas that borders Elizabeth, those urban corridors that you have where you're a hybrid, such as out south. I'm now in Union.
Yes.
Economic Development Director and Special Improvement Director for Union Township. And so I remember a lot of those projects. Coming out of Elizabeth, we've done a lot of projects. And so what I would suggest to you in terms of trying to look at financial areas that will support you would be like trying to develop the NRTC around those areas that'll bring in up to $1 million to do some redevelopment, and also look at new market tax credits, because maybe that census tract in those areas may fit in that. And so you can actually speak to Kim about that, as well as, and I think one of the administrators right now is in Elizabeth, EDC, and so can bring them to the table to help you figure out those areas. So there's hope in that. Whereas for Union, we're still a hybrid, and we're still trying to reach out and hammer at DCA to figure out how we help towns like Union, Clark, and those areas to really try to bring them up, because we're experiencing those same difficulties as well. So I just thought I would lend that information to you.
Hello, my name is Maria Connolly, and I'm with the Local Planning Services at the Department of Community Affairs, and I have with me Jeffrey Gray Cornelius. And we're planners at Local Planning Services, and we're here to discuss with you a little bit about what Local Planning Services does, and the services we provide, and also a little bit, give you a little overview of opportunity zones, the New Jersey opportunity zones that have been designated, and what LPS and DCA can do to help you with your opportunity zones. And we've been on the road with NJRA and a couple different counties and municipalities and opportunity zone summits, and that's where Alex was at the one that we went to last week, and I believe the mayor was there too. We did one in New Brunswick at the Hyatt, big opportunity zone summit, and so go ahead, go to the next one. I'm going to give you a little overview about local planning services. We're an office in the Department of Community Affairs, and we work with municipalities to achieve land use goals. And we provide planning services at no cost to the municipality as long as you're an eligible municipality. I can go over the eligibility requirements in a little while. We do master plan elements, economic development elements. We do entire master plans. We're working on an entire master plan for the borough of Woodbine right now. We do transit-oriented development. We do bicycle and pedestrian plans. So I'll give you a little later, I'll go over some of the projects that we've worked on. And we are working with, right now, with all our state entities right now to do like kind of bringing the show on the road to talk about opportunity zones in New Jersey and what the state can do to help you with your opportunity zones and promote your opportunity zones. Oh, I also want to say that we only started about in 2011. We were the staff of the defunct COA, Council on Affordable Housing, and so if you have any COA questions, I can't help you. I worked for DCA for 16 years, so most of the time there I worked for COA. And then in 2011, when the work started slowing down, our commissioner at the time, Chuck Richmond, said, you know, we have this wonderful planning staff with all this knowledge. What can we use them for to help municipalities in New Jersey? And so they kind of recreated us, and we became local planning services. We act sort of like a consulting firm, like a planning consulting firm that you would hire, but there's no billable hours. So that's why municipalities like us now. They didn't like us before when we were COA, but so it's good to be on that side of the fence now. So we've worked actually in Linden in I believe it was 2014. We were working in Linden, and we helped redo a redevelopment plan for the project on St. George Avenue. And also we've worked in Plainfield also. We did a TOD plan for Plainfield, where the ABC building is now, in 2015. So we have worked in Union County before. So I'm going to talk a little bit about opportunity zones, which was created by the 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act, and I don't know all the nuances of the tax laws. I know the regulations are still out and they're not finalized yet, but this was designed to drive long-term capital into distressed communities throughout the country through tax incentives. So investors can defer tax on capital gains through 2026 by making appropriate investments in an opportunity zone, and there's tiered benefits that you get tied to the time periods, 5, 7, and 10 years. And there's an option for temporary tax deferral of the investment you put in, and also a complete exemption of capital gains from when the money you put into the project in that opportunity zone. So, and in New Jersey, there was a long selection process here in New Jersey. The state agencies got together and we had several meetings about how to designate. And you know, if you have specific questions about the designation of the opportunity zones, you can call my office, or you can talk to Chris Wheeler, who's in the commissioner's office at DCA, and he can give you like a really thorough explanation of how the opportunity zones were selected. There was a lot of demographic information involved. But in New Jersey now we have 75 municipalities and 169 opportunity zones. And what did we say Union County had? 11. So 5 municipalities, 11 opportunity zones in Union County. And that's just part of it. The tracts had to have a poverty rate of 20% or above, median family income of up to 80% of the area, which is based on the statewide median. And the policy goals behind the opportunity zones was to create diverse economic opportunity and evenly distributing opportunity zones across the state of New Jersey. So we have north, south, and central, and every county. Improve economic conditions in these distressed communities, support emerging opportunities for economic growth and redevelopment and development, and utilize these public-private partnerships to maximize the value of state and local incentives. Provide linkages to transit. That was really important too in selecting the opportunity zones, having linkages to transit and other kinds of infrastructure, and also having a diversity of zones throughout the state. So we're here to give you a little help with your opportunity zone if you have an opportunity zone in your community. One of the things that DCA created was we created a mapping program called the community asset, the New Jersey Community Asset Map, and we did that with the help of our sister agencies, other state agencies, EDA and JRA. Originally, this map was only for opportunity zones, but we've expanded it for all municipalities in the state now. So we changed, it was an opportunity zone map. Now it's a New Jersey Community Asset Map. Any municipality can go in and locate their municipality. They can see the opportunity zone if they have one, but they can also see other things. You can see whether you're an NRTC neighborhood revitalization tax credit neighborhood. You can see whether you're a UEZ community urban enterprise zone. You can see if you're an NJRA eligible municipality. It has demographics. We'll go over, Jeff is going to give a demonstration of the map. Jeff was one of the creators of the map with Tom Stanukinis in our office, as well as Chris Wheeler. And this is a useful tool. The map is a useful tool not only to municipalities to see the assets that are in their community and to see other state incentive areas in their community, but this is also a good tool for developers and investors who want to come to maybe want to come to your municipality. They can look at this map and see all the assets that are in your community. You know, whether you have a stadium, whether you have university there, they can see all these assets, and it goes down to the parcel level data. So the developer can go in and look and say, hey, look at this parcel. I want to see if I can develop here. So it's a really useful tool. Are you aware of the assets located in and around your opportunity zone? So the asset map can help you identify assets that are in your community and also outside your community also. Maybe a neighboring municipality, some of the opportunity zones are on neighboring municipality borders. So are you aware of the incentive areas available in the opportunity zone? Like I said, the map also shows areas in need of redevelopment, or rehabilitation. So if your municipality has ANRs, I have to mention also, if DCA has the resolution from the governing body designating the ANR, it'll show on the map. So developers, investors can see that on the map. Designated transit villages, if you have a designated transit village, that'll show on the map too. Neighborhood revitalization tax credit neighborhoods, NR and JRA communities, UEZ communities, it all shows on this map. And it will help you promote your opportunity zone. So do you have a plan right now that connects your projects to investors? This map can help you do that, and we can too at LPS also. So things to consider as you develop an opportunity zone plan or strategy. We're not talking about like a formal plan that needs to be adopted by the governing body or the planning board, but your municipality should have some kind of action plan that they're going to think about when it comes to an opportunity zone. So, and your local government, you guys play a critical role in shaping the opportunity zone's success in New Jersey. So again, you can use the asset map to look at the assets in your community, where your incentive areas are, and look at areas that are ripe for development. You know, what areas, these projects, opportunity zone projects, really should be shovel-ready projects. So this could help you locate those shovel-ready projects. Also, we are encouraging you to create a municipal opportunity zone committee, that especially interdepartmentally, like in order to move these projects along, you really need to have good coordination between your departments, and the planning board, the zoning board, they all should be on board here so that the projects don't get stalled, because these time frames regarding opportunity zones, they're kind of tight. So you need to make sure everybody's on the same page when it comes to moving these projects along. So at minimum, maybe you should have a contact person at the municipality who is kind of familiar with the opportunity zone, tax incentive regulations, and familiar with maybe some available parcels in your municipality, what's going on, what the status is of some of the properties in your municipality. You may want to involve other officials too. We're definitely here to assist too. We can come to any meetings that you need us to come to, and I know NJRA too is willing to come to any meetings. Also, you may want to talk to your consultants, your planners, your engineers, make sure they're on board and they know what's going on too. Also, you want to take a look at your existing zoning, land use regulations, any kind of impediments. Maybe you want to develop an inventory of what your shovel-ready projects are. Maybe do like a parcel inventory. Look at your parcels, figure out block, lot, environmental constraints, wetlands, who owns the properties, what the current zoning is. You want to make sure there's a development, you're moving these projects along. I know there's pending legislation to allow municipalities to have a second zoning board. If you have one of those municipalities where there's a lot of applications coming in before the zoning board or planning board, maybe you need to take a look at that process and find out why is this getting backlogged like this? Do you have Do you have a committee that reviews the planning board applications or zoning board applications before they go before the full planning board? That's something to think about, like having a screening committee. And also, is the current zoning sufficient? Is the zoning that is in that zone, your opportunity zone right now, does it have what you want? Does it work with the community's vision? And also, increasing code enforcement around the opportunity zone will help attract investors and developers to the area. So also, again, you want to look at the development and redevelopment priorities in your opportunity zone. Look at your existing areas in need of redevelopment. Do they need to be redone? One of the most, oh bless you, one of the most popular services that municipalities ask us is they want us to look at the redevelopment plan, an existing redevelopment plan that's been around for 7 and 10 years, and it hasn't moved forward. Why hasn't it moved forward? So that's something to take a look at. If there are any areas that you want to newly designate redevelopment or rehabilitation, take a look at your vacant sites, your abandoned buildings. Do you have an abandoned property list? Does it need to be updated? Do you want to pass an abandoned property ordinance where you could collect fees? These are things to think about for not only your opportunity zone, but municipality in general. And you want to attract projects where there's going to be a willingness to support tax incentives if necessary, pilots for affordable housing developments or areas in need of redevelopment. And then projects that will work with opportunity zones, that taxable gains will be invested in the project. So, and develop a marketing strategy to sell your opportunity zone to businesses. Use the asset map to highlight your community assets and your economic strengths. You want to promote projects that have excellent potential for attracting investment, and you also want to link your marketing efforts to your vision. Does the zoning match what you want for that opportunity zone? Take a look at that. So Jeff's going to give a little bit of a demonstration of the community asset map. This map shows schools, colleges, hospitals, transit access. It has a walkability score. It has census information. Again, it shows state and special state development incentive areas that could be attractive to investors. Also, it goes down to the parcel level, which can help you select priority projects for the opportunity zone. Also, we recently added improvement districts, sales data. We were talking about improvement districts before, sales data, and we're continually updating and adding new layers to the map. I think we're up to 43, 44 layers now on the map. So, and if you're looking at your opportunity zone or your municipality and you see that there's incorrect information in there or something's missing, I think we were in Beverly a couple weeks ago, and their library was missing from the map, so we added it later on. If you see something that's missing or needs to be added, let us know, contact our office and let us know. Also, again, with the redevelopment areas or rehabilitation areas, if DCA does not have your resolution designating the redevelopment area, it won't be on the map. So I think it was in 2008 the law was changed where DCA needs to receive the resolutions now and approve the A&Rs before they become effective. And there were many redevelopment areas before that, so I know it may not be on our map if we don't have the resolution. So you'll need to send that to to the Lieutenant Governor, our Commissioner, if you want that to show up on the map. So I think Jeff, and to access the map, you can access it from DCA's website. Actually, I'm going to show them real quick. I just wanted to mention also improvement districts. We were talking about improvement districts before. Jeff Bueller is in our office, for the New Jersey Main Street coordinator, and he also deals with improvement districts. So you could always call our office too if you need help. Maybe if you want to form a new improvement district, our staff can help you with that. So this is the Governor's New Jersey Opportunity Zone website. You can access the map from here too, where it says Mapping Tools. So you can access the map either from the Governor's New Jersey Opportunity Zone website or from DCA's website, directly from Department of Community Affairs website, the main page. There's like a carousel in the beginning, and you just have to click on that. So this is the asset map, and Jeff's going to go over it.
Okay, so when the asset map starts up, you're going to come up with this splash screen. Just gives you a quick summary of what the asset map is, summary of Community Affairs, what we've done. Click OK, and you're first prompted by a view of the entire state. And on the left, you can see all of the separate assets, all the different layers that are available. So when you first start up, the only thing that's checked on is the opportunity zones layer. So if you see those purple dots or areas, those are all the opportunity zones in the state. So then if you, as municipal officials, you can zoom right into your town. So if we want to go right into where we are right now. You can zoom into where we are. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. Over on the right, you have a help screen that explains all the different tools you have up at the top. I'm going to close this right now so you can see a little bit more. Okay, so if we zoom out a little, we can see we're right outside a couple of these opportunity zones. If you click on any of these, you're going to get a quick little info box that gives you just a quick summary of some of the most pertinent information. So for this opportunity zone, shows you where it is, the neighborhood, whether or not it qualifies as some of these incentive areas, quick stats, median home value, median real estate tax, predominant land use type, close out of that. So then you can just play around with some of the different layers, start clicking them on. So a lot of these are point data, or different facilities that may be in the area. Again, if you click on anything, it's going to give you a quick summary of what it is. As you go down further, then you have some more transportation-related things. So we've got a train station here. Click on that. Also have a half-mile buffer, so if you want to see if you're within walking distance of that train station. Going a little further. Yeah, so we got some improvement districts. Looks like there's a few right around here. So again, click on that, get a quick summary of what that is. And then we get into areas in need of redevelopment, areas in need of rehabilitation. Sure. Urban enterprise zones. Okay, and then one of the things we've added relatively recently is sales data. So I'm going to click on all 5 of these. So apartment, commercial, industrial, residential, and vacant land sales data. So every dot you see is sales data that occurred, I believe, within the last year or two. So that's a good question. If you are interested in finding out the source of anything, you can go here, go down and click here to see the full data dictionary. It'll bring up this separate page and gives a quick summary of every layer. Go down to sales. Yeah. So I forget off the top of my head where we got the sales data.
43 layers.
Yeah.
So you can find the data on this night.
Yep, all the data is there. Yep. So DCA analysis of 2017-18 SR1A grantors listing and the Mod 4 data.
It's pretty recent too, June 30th, 2018.
Yeah, that's one of the most recent.
You indicated area need rehabilitation, and that area need redevelopment to do that too, right?
Yep, we have both of them. Yep.
Can you put the aerial in the back? Show them how to do the
Sure.
basic- You can do the aerial on the back too.
Yep, so if you want to change the background, so this is the standard one that comes up. I like to use just a light gray canvas because that helps to pull out some of the layers so you can see it most clearly. You can also have just your kind of standard aerial imagery. So that helps if you really want to zoom down. You can zoom in, and once you get real close, you can actually see the parcel information. So the parcel lines show up. You can click on an individual parcel and get all the information on that parcel. So everything from the land value to the size to the property class, even ownership information.
So the URL for this, for the community asset, mapping?
Sure. So if you just go to opportunityzones.nj.gov,
I have it This is the Governor's New Jersey Opportunity Zone website, and you can get to it by going to mapping tools. And then you can also get it from DCA's website too. There it is.
Yeah, so if you click on the community asset map.
Yep, if you click on that. We also have down here, we also have an Opportunity Zone link here. And this is our DCA's webpage on Opportunity Zones. It gives a lot of FAQs, background on Opportunity Zones. It has an email address that you can email if you have general questions about Opportunity Zones. It gives you a breakdown of how, what was the purpose of the Opportunity Zones, how was it created, how were they designated. It has several, an Excel spreadsheet that has lists all the 169 Opportunity Zones in New Jersey. And then has the second link is that map, the community asset map too. Or you can just download this map also, which is just like a static map that is not interactive too.
I have a static, it's just that you get a lot of calls, like, am I in the opportunity zone?
This will be perfect, and this will help us. You could put the exact address in
Right.
and say yes or no. Or you can even show them the map, send them the link to the map, and they can look it up themselves.
So then the last category is statewide census data. So if you do want to especially zoom out a little bit and get a sense of how your area competes with others, there's a variety of different layers here. So everything from a walkability score. So you can get a walkability score, see how your community compares to others, to job density, population density, a variety of different things. So we tried to make it as useful as possible, touching on a variety of different things.
That's Neighborhood Preservation Program eligible census tracts, low-income housing tax credit qualified census tracts are in here too. HMFA targeted urban municipality, NJRA eligible municipality, that's all on here too. So other state incentive programs are in here too.
I'm guessing this is the developer's best friend too.
Yeah, exactly. This is good. Anybody can use this.
Yeah, so we tried to design it so it's user-friendly both for municipalities and developers. So it goes both ways.
Oh, I have some more. I'm not done. So I also want to talk a little bit about how us at DCA and LPS can help with your opportunity zone. And we have an entire list of things that we can help you with, including assisting with the establishment of a special improvement district if you need assistance. Establishing a special improvement district, give us a call. Like I said, Jeff Bueller in our office, he's the New Jersey Main Street coordinator. He's in our office now. He used to be in the Division of Housing. Now he's with us. We can assist you with that. We can also assist you with other types of placemaking and downtime revitalization assistance or Main Street assistance if you have a Main Street, New Jersey. We can help you identify development, redevelopment opportunities that are in your opportunity zone. We can help you create an abandoned property inventory or do GIS mapping. We have, as you can see, we have a capable GIS mapping program in our office and staff that can do GIS. We can do a abandoned property inventory for you. We can do any kind of mapping for you. If you need assistance doing an abandoned property ordinance or anything like that, we can help you with that. We can look at your zoning, land use regulations, redevelopment plans, rehabilitation plans, anything you have, suggest changes to it. Like I said, that's one of our most popular requests is can you take a look at this and figure out why nothing's happening. We have ESRI business analyst data that can look at market trends, land use patterns, and development conditions in your municipality. We can do a market analysis for you. We can create specific site parcel profiles for developers, investors. One of the things we do in some of our plans is at the end of the report, for example, we did a redevelopment plan for the city of Salem for a property that was over 200 acres, and we did an inventory of every parcel in that redevelopment area. So the appendix had like 30 or 40 pages, and it had a map of the parcel, it had property owner, block and lot, new zoning, because they adopted the redevelopment plan, so it's new zoning. It had environmental constraints, what was the brownfield status of that parcel, so that a developer can take this and say, oh, look at this property, here's all the information about this property, maybe I want to develop on this property. And so it was kind of like a marketing tool for the municipality too. And we can coordinate with other state agencies. So, one of the things about working with a state agency is that we can't get other state agencies to bend their rules, but sometimes when you get all the state agencies in one room, there's more of an understanding amongst everybody. And, where the municipality thought the state wouldn't do something, maybe they would. So, for example, a few weeks ago, we had a meeting with Woodbine, the borough of Woodbine, and the DOT's aeronautical division, which we never met with because Woodbine has an airport, and they had questions about what land uses they could put on the airport. So we helped set that meeting up, and it was a very successful meeting. Another meeting where we set up a meeting between the Pinelands and Pemberton Township, and Pemberton was saying, well, the Pinelands will never let us do this. And then when we got everybody in the same room, we realized, oh, the Pinelands will let them do that. So we can help with that. And like I've said before, we've been on the road with our other sister agencies in promoting these opportunity zones. So we definitely could come to any meetings that you need help with and meet with you.
For the ESRI market analysis, that's something that for Main Street and Westfield.
Yep.
And there's always been a charge for us to do that. Is that something you provide?
Yeah, we could do it. We could definitely do it. We have that program in our office, so it's a service that we can provide if you needed market analysis data. Definitely. See some of the completed projects that we did. As I said, we worked in the city of Linden. We did a West End TOD plan where the ABC building is right now. We worked here in Linden. Right now, these are completed projects. Right now, we're also working in Trenton. We're doing on a TOD plan for the city of Trenton around their stations. We're doing a master plan for Woodbine. We're doing a bike and pedestrian master plan for the whole township of Brick. We're working in Roselle also. We're actually working in Roselle right now on an intersection improvement project there. So yeah, we're working all over the state. So we're willing to come out. We could set up a meeting with us. Go to the next thing. Oh, I just want to talk about the eligibility real quick. Can you go back to it's on the website. If you go to our website, we have, you have to fill out an application on our website, and then we'll come out and have like a meeting with you, or we can even have a pre-application meeting with you if you're still not sure what kind of projects you want us to help with. We can come out with you and meet with you, and it's one of these. We have a brochure on our website. You can get the, here it is. Right here's the qualification criteria. If you're a urban aid, transitional aid, NJRA community, also opportunity zone. If you're an opportunity zone community, we'll come out and help you with a project, or you were impacted by Superstorm Sandy, or have some kind of temporarily fiscally distressed. We'll come out and help you with any kind of project. The project has to be kind of like a specific project, though. Like we can't be like your planning board consultant or anything like that. But we can do a specific project with an end date. So it's just like a planning consultant, and you'll fill an application out on our website. And what we require is the governing body pass a resolution. We'll prepare a scope of services just like a consultant would. Your governing body would pass a resolution approving the scope of services and also appointing a working committee. So we want to meet with the municipality once a month, and the working committee, we encourage a planning board member, a governing body member to be on the working committee, and also if you want business owners or any kind of community members can be on the working committee, any municipal elected officials or municipal employees too, we encourage that. We've had working committees where it was 20 people, and we've had working committees that was 5, but we really want to make sure that the planning board and the governing body, everybody's on the same page, so that at the end of the day we can approve the plan. And we'll go before, if it's a redevelopment plan or a master plan element, we'll go before the planning board also and help move the project along. So if you have any questions, you can call me or you can call our director, Sean Thompson. Like I said, the application and everything is on our website. And if you have any specific opportunity zone questions too, there's a email address on the DCA website. It's also here that you can, and that's the governor's opportunity zone website too right there. So do you have any questions right now? I'm here to answer. You can come after and talk. I have some example projects that we did here, example reports that we did here that you could take a look at. So let me know if you have any questions.